You're sitting on the couch on a Sunday night, scrolling through your bank app, and something doesn't add up. You didn't buy anything big this month. No vacations, no shopping sprees, no emergencies, and yet there's way less money left than there should be. So you start scrolling. $19, $13, $12, $7, another $13. Each one so small it barely registers. Each one auto-renewing so quietly you forgot half of them existed. You haven't opened that meditation app since January. You signed up for that fitness platform during a New Year's resolution you abandoned by February. There's a language learning app you downloaded during a motivated weekend that you haven't opened since the second lesson. You're paying for 4 different streaming services, and last night you still complained there was nothing to watch. Individually, none of these charges feel like a problem. Combined, they're silently draining thousands of dollars a year from your bank account. And the companies charging you are counting on the fact that you'll never sit down and add them all up. This is the subscription trap, and it's costing you far more than you think. My name is Graham, and I've been down the rabbit hole on this one. Today, I'm going to show you exactly how much the average person is actually spending on subscriptions, why your brain is wired to ignore the damage, what that money could become if you redirected even a fraction of it, and the simple system to break out of the trap without giving up everything you enjoy. If this kind of breakdown is useful to you, the subscribe button helps me keep making them. Here's where it gets uncomfortable. According to a C+R research study, the average American spends $219 per month on subscriptions. That's not just streaming. That's software, cloud storage, gym memberships, meal kits, music, gaming, and a dozen other recurring charges that sneak onto your credit card one free trial at a time. That adds up to roughly $2,600 per year. Over a decade, you're looking at more than $26,000 in subscription spending alone. But here's the part that should genuinely alarm you. West Monroe's research puts the number even higher at $273 per month. And a 2025 CNET survey of 2,400 adults found that the average person spends roughly $200 every year on subscriptions they don't even use, services they forgot about, apps they opened once, free trials that quietly converted into paid plans while they weren't paying attention. Most people, when asked to estimate their monthly subscription spending, guess somewhere around $80 to $90. The actual number is more than double that. It's like a slow leak in a tire. You don't notice it while you're driving. You just wake up one morning and the tire is flat, and you have no idea when it happened. Now let's talk about why you keep paying for things you don't use. Because it's not laziness, it's design. Subscription companies have spent billions engineering what behavioral economists call the default effect. The default effect says that people overwhelmingly stick with whatever option requires no action. Canceling requires effort. It requires logging in, finding the settings page buried 3 menus deep, clicking through confirmation screens designed to make you feel guilty, answering questions about why you're leaving. Staying subscribed requires nothing. You just do nothing, and they keep charging you. The entire business model is built on your inertia. Companies even have a name for this internally. They call it sticky churn reduction. The goal isn't to make you love the product. It's to make leaving harder than staying. On top of that, every individual charge is engineered to sit below your pain threshold. $12.99 doesn't trigger the same alarm in your brain as a single $156 charge, even though that's exactly what $12.99 per month adds up to over a year. Behavioral economists call this payment decoupling. When you buy something in a store, the pain of paying is tied to the moment you get the product. You feel the transaction. With subscriptions, those two things are completely disconnected. You signed up once, maybe months ago. The charge hits your card automatically. You never have to pull out your wallet, approve the purchase, or even think about it. Your brain literally never processes the cost because there's no moment where you actively decide to spend the money. It just disappears. Most people aren't paying for subscriptions because they actively want them. They're paying because the friction of canceling is just slightly higher than the friction of ignoring a $13 charge. And companies know this. According to a CNET survey, 67% of subscribers saw at least one of their services raise prices in the past year. They're not just counting on your inertia, they're profiting from it and raising the price while they do. But here's where it gets interesting. Let's stop talking about what subscriptions cost you today and start talking about what they're costing your future. Let's say you do a subscription audit and find $100 a month you can cut without meaningfully changing your quality of life. Not all of your subscriptions. Just the ones you forgot about, barely use, or could replace with a cheaper alternative. $100 a month. That's it. If you invest that $100 per month into a broad market index fund, returning a historical average of 10% annually, here's what happens. After 10 years, you have $20,500. After 20 years, you're sitting on $76,000. And after 30 years, that $100 a month has grown into over $226,000. You contributed $36,000 of your own money over 3 decades. Compounding added another $190,000 on top. At that point, the account is generating over $22,000 per year in returns by itself, created entirely by money you used to waste on apps you forgot you had. Let that sink in for a second. $100 a month in forgotten subscriptions, redirected into an index fund, turns into almost $250,000. That's not theoretical. That's basic compound interest math. And you didn't have to earn a single extra dollar to get there. You just had to stop paying for things you weren't using. Now scale that up. If you're spending the full average of $219 per month and you somehow cut all of it, that same 30-year window turns into nearly $500,000. $500,000. All from money that was already leaving your bank account every month. You just sent it somewhere useful instead. So how do you actually escape the subscription trap? Do the following 3 steps. First, look up your total subscription expenses. Log into your bank account and search for every recurring charge from the last 90 days. Don't estimate. Don't guess. Most people are shocked when they see the total, because the number in your head is almost certainly less than half the real cost. Second, apply the 30-day test. For every subscription on your list, ask one question: have I used this in the last 30 days? If the answer is no, cancel it immediately. You can always resubscribe later if you genuinely miss it. Most people never do. The thing about subscriptions is that the anticipation of losing access feels worse than actually losing it. That's loss aversion at work. But once it's gone, you almost never notice. Third, redirect the savings automatically. This is the step most people skip. Canceling subscriptions is satisfying for about 24 hours, and then the money quietly gets absorbed into general spending. Set up an automatic transfer for the exact amount you saved and send it to an investment account. If you saved $100 a month, automate $100 a month into an index fund the same week. Make the savings real by putting them to work immediately. Remember that Sunday night bank statement scroll from the beginning? The one where nothing added up? Now you know exactly what's happening. Dozens of small charges, each one engineered to sit below your pain threshold, each one auto-renewing on your inertia, each one quietly compounding against you instead of for you. You don't need to cancel everything. You don't need to live like a monk with no entertainment budget. You just need to know the real number and make a deliberate choice about it instead of letting the default run your finances. The difference between people who build wealth and people who wonder where their money went is rarely income. It's awareness. It's knowing what you're actually paying and deciding on purpose whether it's worth it. I want to hear from you. Pull up your bank statement and add up your subscriptions right now. What was the total? Was it higher than you expected? Drop the number in the comments. Pick one subscription today. Just one. Cancel it and redirect that money somewhere it actually grows. Because wealth isn't built in big dramatic moves. It's built in the small expenses you decide to stop ignoring.